Peace and blessings, everyone. This is a video response to 305-636's response to my video, The Call. First off, long time no see, brother. Haven't seen any videos from you in quite a while. Good to hear from you, and thanks for responding. At least we're getting something started now, a dialogue. Now your question is, why am I doing what I'm going to do? To what ends? What purpose? And actually, you got pretty philosophical in dealing with the nature of truth. And I try not to go there and get into that realm on if there is an absolute truth, which I believe there is, which is beyond subjective and objective truths, try to say, which, yes, they do change. Our understanding of things change. Our knowledge of a specific truth of something may change. The truth of a certain law of physics, things of that nature, our knowledge to the truth of that may change. But the truth itself does not change. And I'm about to get into it, aren't I? Okay, so real quick. So as we learn the truth of things, our knowledge of the truth changes, but all we're doing is learning more and more what the absolute truth is of said object or law or whatever it is. As our intelligence grows, as our knowledge grows, we learn more and more about the truth. We get closer and closer to the truth of something objective. So it gets rid of our subjective truth that we have formed about something. So I hope you see what I'm saying. I believe there is an absolute truth about everything. We might not know it, but it's there. So anyway, so when I say that I'm doing this for the truth, it is for the truth of what we as a black people are here in the United States. Because I'm questioning whether or not the truth is we should be a sovereign people. If we should be a nation that has our own rights. And however that comes about, like if that entails giving us our own land here in the United States, then so be it, whatever it is. Because I'm questioning whether or not if you take a people from a land, if you kidnap them, whatever, you take them from the land, and no matter how long you separate them from the land, from their nation, from their point of origin, are they still not that nation? Do they still have the rights to whatever laws they had set up, whatever their nationality was? If China comes over here and kidnaps Americans and takes them over to China, are they still Americans, or do they then become Chinese? If they take them over there and they enslave them for hundreds of years, at a certain point in time, do they just now become Chinese Americans, or are they still Americans? Because you take them away from the nation, does that remove them from being that nation, what they were born in, what they're part of? Now, after several generations of not being born in that nation that we're stolen from, even then, their ancestry comes from a certain point, and they were taken from their nation. They didn't come over on their own free will like we have many other nationalities over here. Many Asians, Mexicans, things of that nature. They willfully came over here. We are the only people here in America that are descendants of a nation of people that was forcefully taken and removed from the nation and brought over here to build this nation. So once again, I am asking for clarification on who we are, what rights we are. Is it just that? Or do we have no choice but to be African Americans or blacks or whatever label they decide to give us, or that we decide that we need to put on ourselves? Is that true? Because like I said, I question it. And it hasn't been clearly defined and set. The truth hasn't been put out there, because if it has, then we wouldn't be having all these arguments within our own people, our own communities about such things. I don't see this in any other cultures or nationalities or ethnicities about who they are. I don't see videos here on YouTube of white people saying, no, we're this, we're that, we're part of this, we're from this, we're that, or Asians, or Latinos. Well, you have some Latinos who say that they're part of Hebrews, or some Hebrews saying Latinos are, but we're unique to this. We are so lost and confused of who we are that we say, well, we're from this, we're from that. We might be from all that, but we don't. And some people will hold that we are from all that, but we're trying to figure out if we are from all that, then we need to know for a fact that we are from all that, and figure out what are our rights because of that truth. If we are Hebrew Israelites, then we have a right to Jerusalem then, right? Correct? And of course we bring in faith there, and belief, because of religion, but some people hold that religion to be the truth. Some people hold the Bible to be the truth, Christianity to be the truth. Are you a Christian? I'm trying to remember your previous videos. But if that is the truth, if the Bible is the truth, and thus the people in the Bible are the truth, the Hebrews are the truth, the Jews are the truth, and if the truth is that blacks or a section of blacks here in America are Hebrew Israelites, if that's the truth, then that affords us the right to go to Jerusalem to claim what is rightfully ours, as dictated in the Bible by God, right? See what I'm saying? So that's what we get to. It is time for us to come to a settlement on who we are as a people and what our rights are. The truth is, here in America, blacks are looked at in a certain light. Blacks are put in a certain class. We're down here. Statistically, we're down here. We're down here in wealth. We're down here in job obtaining. We're down here in schooling. We're down here. Why are we down here? Is it just us? Or is it because of all this confusion? Once again, within the aims of the United Nations, about them maintaining peace, it's out there that it's going to be a race war. It's building that it's going to be a race war. With Obama being president, there's this, is getting more volatile. If we, the blacks, are afforded, or it's proven that we should be sovereign and we should be able to have our own nation, then we are able to monitor ourselves, take care of ourselves, determine, our own self-determination as a nation of people, so that we can't point at anybody else. We can't point at the government, the white man, because they're not there to help us when another natural catastrophe happens, like Katrina. All right, so we can say the president doesn't care about black people. All right, we are always put in a position where we're pointing at and saying that the people in charge, which are usually the whites, the Caucasians, whatever, the Jews for some, whatever it is, that hey, they don't care about us. So if that is true, then that's a problem. And so why is that? So the truth may be that we need to be given our own nationality, because it could be proven that over history, over time, the blacks here in America, we have been subjugated to mistreatment, to discrimination, still today. Once again, why are we down here? There are still things going on where there's still racial killings going on. There's still black people getting beat up by white cops. All right, it's still all this racial tension going on here. And what is the truth behind that? And so I believe we need to get some clarification. And if we put the United Nations on the spot and say, hey, you need to examine all the evidence, all the truth, and let us know who we are, what's going to happen? What's going to come out of that? Think about what's going to come out of that. Either they will be able to come to a definitive conclusion to let us know who we are, or we'll find out that ultimately the world doesn't care about us. All right, and that should tell us something. If the United Nations is not willing to help us, and we need some help because there's so much confusion within the community. If they're not willing to help us and helping us, they're helping the nation. Because I'm still saying that we are a nation, right? We were stolen, but we are still a nation. Even though we've had all this intermingling of other ethnicities, we got whites in our family now. I got whites in my lineage now, and a lot of that's because of rapes. Our ancestors being raped by the masters. My great grandmother, her mother was charcoal black, I was told, and she was raped by a white German doctor. So I had that within me. We had some part Indians, but the fact is, we still, at the core, come from a nation of people that was stolen from somewhere. And with them doing that, it has set up the current condition where we are lost, confused, and arguing about who we are. We don't know who we are. We're arguing about who we are. And so instead of us arguing, let's bring in a nation. Let's the United Nations. Let's bring in the world. What is it that they know? I keep hearing so much about that. All these other people know who we are. That all these other nations know who the black people are, who we truly are, about who we are as a nation and what rights we are, and the powers and where we come from. That's what I keep hearing. So if that is true, then they should come forth so that we know, that everybody here in America knows that it is proclaimed worldwide who the black people are here in the United States and what we should be afforded to. And I believe that would bring peace to us. All right, it would bring peace to us as a people. And then once again, it allows us to set up our own nation, our own government, to look out for ourselves. And then we can defend ourselves easily and readily, because at that point, once we have our own nation, if somebody does something to us outside of that, then they're attacking our nation and we can declare war. We basically should be declaring war right now. Matter of fact, that can be argued that when our people were taken from Africa, that was war declared from the places that we were taken from our tribes. Did our tribe declare a war on this nation, United States? And would that declaration still be holding true because their people weren't returned? We weren't returned to our nation. So if a war was declared or whatever, it should still be holding true right now. We are still held down. We are still discriminated against. So that war, that declaration of wars, should still be in place if there is so. If there was one put in place. And if there wasn't, then it should have been, and it should be now. We should be declaring war. Now, does that mean that we need to go out and start shooting people? No, not necessarily. It means that we need to come together as a nation to defend ourselves, whatever means necessary. If we have to fight, we have to fight. But we have to come together first and decide we're going to fight. We're going to fight as one nation. We're going to fight a war. And I mean a literal war as a nation. But we must come together to do that, and put aside arguing about who we are. At the same time, I question, all the brothers on here who argue about who we are, and I question what good is that going to do in the end. I'm trying to fight over who we are, even if we say that unless we are afforded a specific right by being a certain people, then ultimately just knowing that we come from Africa, from Egypt or Kemet, doesn't do anything within itself unless by that very fact it gives us our sovereignty. Other than that, we need to stop arguing. We need to come together as one and say, okay, maybe we come from this and come from that, and we need to look and work towards the truth. But once again, once we start getting the world involved to say who we are, then I believe it will lead us to something. There's no sense in marching on the White House, because once again, we're marching on our oppressors. Even if we have a black man or so-called black man, a half black man, whatever he is in office, he is still part of this system in the United States, which has us oppressed. And here's something else for you. Here's another interesting thing. Think about the position that he should be put in. Once again, being the head of a country, which is been deemed the most powerful nation in this world, being the head of this country, which is part of the United Nations, President Obama has a part in determining who we are. He has responsibilities to his people, right? He is part of us. And so what is going to be his part? What is going to be his stance? Is he going to try to remove himself? Is he going to take the political route? Or is he going to see this opportunity to do something for his people? Or his half of people? And so I see that also. As again, this, either way I see it, it will give us clarification on who we are. Either the world cares about us or they don't. As a nation, if they don't, then that tells us once again, we got to stop messing around and start taking care of ourselves. So you ask, will it be enough? It'll be enough if it is declared that we should have our own land, that we should have our own sovereignty, that we are a nation. It will be enough, because then we are able to take care of our own, come together, bring our money together, the wealth that we have and the money that we spend every year, which will bring us in the top 10 as a nation. You know, the money that we spend every year, all that money we give out to everybody else, we bring it together as a nation, we are automatically within the top 10. So it would be enough in that sense. It's not their approval that I'm looking for. Once again, it's the truth. It's the truth of who we are. It's the truth of what rights should be afforded to us as, I believe, a nation. I believe we're a nation. If we're not, then they should let us know that we're not a nation. Nope. No matter what, you're Americans. You don't got no rights to nothing. And you have to deal with being in a system that has oppressed you for all these years, and I still do. More, it's more undercover now, but it's still there. So that's why we need a clarification, because I'm wondering if the truth is that the clarification affords us rights and gives us freedom as a nation to come together and look out for each other. And so that's the purpose. And so I hope that I answered your question or questions, what you was looking for, and I thank you for any and all help. I thank you for support. I thank you for your prayers you give out to me, and this helps spread the word. All right, because I'm going to be out there, and I hope more of our people does the same. Like I said, you question what I do, but you are their support, and that's all I'm asking. Just support me. Support me in my endeavors to, in essence, I believe, support you, help you, and do what's best for our people. Something has to be done. God bless. Peace and love.